In this video you will learn how to make individual dies for tooth preparations, and how to ditch these. Keep in mind, if you would like to make hollow bases, you will need to make your dies first. For the cutting tools to function correctly, make sure you have the Curve Extra Objects and the Mesh Extra Objects add-ons activated. If you are unsure how to do this, please view the installation tutorial. We will temporarily hide the X and the Y axis, to get a better vantage point of the tooth preparation. This can be done by accessing the icon on the upper toolbar over here. Select the lower model, and hide it. Simply press the H key on your keyboard, or use the Model menu tab. Then turn the model around. Make sure you are viewing the tooth preparation from above. Select the model first, and ensure it is highlighted. Press Shift and right-click, to place your cursor. Now navigate to the Model menu, and press on the Draw a Die tab. This is in the Make Die toolbar option. This has placed a small vertex on the surface of the model and in the exact location of the cursor. Also note that we are now in edit mode. You can press the E key on your keyboard to extrude the line. Move the mouse, then left-click to set the line into position. Repeat this process, press E, then left-click. Continue this way. Ensure the line does not dip into the surface of the model. It is important that you always follow the highest gingival contour, and avoid placing the line into the deeper submucosal areas. So, left-click E, left-click E, left-click E, and continue this way until you get closer to where you started. Navigate back to the menu and press the Fuse tab. After pressing the Fuse tab, press the Elevate tab. This will ensure that the cut line does not intersect into the surface mesh of the scan. The cut line should be outlined in orange. Press the Elevate tab several times. This will ensure the cut line is lifted above the surface of the scan. This is very important. If the line is submerged anywhere, the die will not cut out. By moving the model around, notice how the line is slightly offset from the surface of the model. This is correct. Move the model back so you can view it from the top. The orange loop will essentially slice all the way through the model. To ensure the cut travels into the correct direction, you will need to orientate the model so you can view the tooth preparation from above. Do not attempt to make the die by viewing the model from the side. This will not work. The extrusion process happens in a direction away from you, in a direction that is parallel to your eyesight. Once you are satisfied with the position, go to the Model menu, and press on the Make Die tab. Notice how this has created a cutting tool, which penetrates all the way through the model. By inspecting the upper part of the tool, one can now appreciate why the cutting tool has to originate from a point well above the surface of the model. Following this, turn the model around, so you can view the model from the other side. Notice how the cutting tool extends well beyond the base of the model. There is also an upper edge loop, which is highlighted. In other words, the upper rim is selected. By pressing the letter G on your keyboard, and then by moving the mouse, you will be able to reposition the die into the best possible location. When you are satisfied with the location, simply left-click to set the die into position. Likewise, by pressing the letter S on your keyboard, you can scale the die accordingly. Again, left-click to set it down. If you have deselected the edge loop by mistake, zoom in a little. Move your mouse to one of the edges of the edge loop, like this. Now press Alt and left-click directly on the edge of the edge loop. This will reselect the entire edge loop. If the Alt and left-click does not work with your computer, you will have to double-click one of the edges of the edge loop instead, to select it. This will perform the same function. Again, you can use G to grab the loop, and relocate it. Turn the model back, so you can view it from above. Navigate to the menu, and either use the slider bar, or type in a value for the required offset. The offset is a small clearance or space which is required between the model and the die to ensure the die fits snugly into the model. This offset depends on your own printer settings and the properties of your printing resin. You will need to conduct some of your own testing to make sure the dies fit perfectly. For this demonstration, we will use 0.2 mm. You can now press the Cut Die tab. The die has been cut out. To show you the removal of the die, we will briefly access the menu on the left-hand side. Press the letter T, then activate the Move widget. Select the new die, then move it slightly. To reposition the die, simply press the Ctrl and the Z key. We do not want to lose the coordinates between the die in relation to the model. Next, we will ditch the die. Left-click to select the die, then Shift and right-click to place the cursor. The cursor is the starting point of the margin. Navigate to the menu and press the Draw Margin tab. By pressing this button, the other objects in the scene will be hidden away. This is done so that you can focus on the ditching task without the other objects getting in the way. Press the letter E to extrude the ditching line, then set it down by left-clicking on the model. The line is sensitive to a particular mesh geometry. This means that it automatically searches for the edge of the margin. If need be, you can always go back one step by pressing the Ctrl and the Z key. In areas where the margin is not distinctly visible, place more vertices. When the margins are well defined, you can space out your line. We will fast forward this section. Notice how the ditching line adheres itself to the surface of the model. This is very different to the cutting tool for making dies. Try and follow the margin of the tooth preparation as closely as you can. When you get to the end, navigate back to the menu and press on the Fuse tab. Inspect the margin. If you find a vertex which is a little off track, simply select it, then press the letter G to grab it. Move your mouse, then reposition it, and set it down with a left click on the model. If you would like to fine-tune your work, it is still possible to place additional vertices between the existing vertices of the line. Simply select two vertices adjacent to one another, left-click on one vertex, then shift and left-click on the other. Move to the menu and press the plus sign. This will immediately place an additional vertex in between the other two selected vertices. Next, navigate to the menu and press the Tool tab. The margin is now ditched, although there is still a cutting tool visible which surrounds the entire die. This tool is necessary for you to trim away any excess gum which still remains after the ditching process. Sometimes soft tissue tags may still be present. These will need to be trimmed away. Zoom in a little closer to inspect the cutting tool. Notice that there are several edge loops surrounding the entire tooth preparation. These edge loops can be expanded outwards to trim away excess gum in real time. All you will need to do is to select one of the edge loops and expand it outwards. To do this, press the Alt key and simultaneously left-click one of the edges belonging to the edge loop. This will select the entire edge loop. By using the letter S, you can scale the loop outwards and trim away any excess tissue tags. This is also covered in the tutorial called Ditching and Trimming Excess Gum. All but one edge loop can be expanded outwards. The edge loop belonging to the margin cannot be moved, since this will change the margin. Following this, press the Ditch tab. All hidden objects have reappeared and the die is now ditched. With this, we will conclude the Making Dies and Ditching tutorial. In the next video, you will learn how to make a die in another way. This die will extrude directly from the margin downwards. You will also learn how to cut out individual teeth and turn these into dies. Thank you for watching this video. In this tutorial we will demonstrate how to incorporate a small step in the die to prevent it from seating too deep into the model. Select the model and make sure it is highlighted, then shift and right-click to place the cursor. Navigate to the menu and press the Draw Die tab. Use the E key to extrude the line, then left-click to set down the line. Continue this way until you get to the end. Finalize this process by pressing the Fuse tab on the menu. Next, elevate the line a few times to make sure the line is adequately offset away from the surface of the model. When done, press the Make Die tab. Use the middle mouse wheel to rotate the scene so that you can view the die from the other side. At this stage, the upper edge loop must remain selected. Press the F key on your keyboard. This will fuse the edge loop to create a new face. Navigate to the transparent mode icon on the upper right-hand side of the 3D working window. Click on that. Use the G key to grab the edge loop so that you can submerge the loop below the surface of the model. Turn the scene so you can view the die from the side. Again, use the G key to reposition the edge loop. The R key can be used to rotate the edge loop. In the event that the edge loop becomes deselected, due to perhaps left-clicking elsewhere, simply do the following. Zoom in a little so that you can get a closer view of the edge loop. Place the mouse on a single edge of the edge loop. Use the Alt key and simultaneously left-click on the edge. This will immediately reselect the entire edge loop. It is very important that you only work with the edge loop while doing this procedure. Next, press the E key followed by the S key. This means that you are extruding the edge loop and scaling it inwards. Simply move your mouse. Left-click to set it into position. When you are satisfied with the diameter of the step, use the E key again followed by the Z key. This means that you are extruding the edge loop upwards and into the Z-axis direction. The line you see here is where the die penetrates through the surface of the model. Use the G key to grab the structure so you can relocate it. Turn to view the die from the front, then repeat the process. Press the G key to fine-tune the position of the die. You can now exit the transparent mode. Continue in the usual way of making a die. Navigate back to the menu and set the offset spacer, the clearance required between the dental model and the die. Finally, press the Cut Die button. With this, we will conclude the tutorial. Thank you for watching this video. This video is a supplementary video and has been added to the dies and ditching tutorial. In this video you will learn how to trim away excess gum, which is sometimes left behind after the ditching a die procedure. Some of these steps have already been covered in the previous video, however, to demonstrate the correct use of the tool, we will briefly demonstrate the entire process. In this example, a full-bodied die has already been constructed. This has been described in the previous tutorial. We will begin by outlining the margin of the tooth preparation. Left-click to select the die, and make sure it is highlighted. Then shift and right-click to place the cursor where you want the margin outline to begin. Navigate to the menu and press on the Draw Margin tab. Press E to extrude the line, then left-click to set down the line. Continue this way, all around the periphery of the tooth. We will fast-forward the section. If necessary, relocate the line slightly by selecting an individual vertex, then use the G key to grab it and to relocate it. Left-click to set it down. Make sure you have the line placed nicely on the margin. When done, include the starting vertex, shift and left click, then press the letter F to fuse the line. Next, rotate the scene, so you can view the die directly from the top. This is very important since the ditching process works in a direction from your current point of view. Ditching a die will not function correctly if you view the die from another angle. The length of the die will need to be viewed with it being parallel to your eyesight. Proceed back to the menu and press on the Tool tab. This will immediately display the ditched die, together with a wire mesh cutting tool. This tool is designed to trim away any excess mesh surrounding the periphery of the tooth. Next, zoom in a little, then choose any of the edges which form part of the perimeter, or edge loop. Use the Alt key on your keyboard, in conjunction with a left click on your mouse. This action will select and highlight the entire edge loop which spans the perimeter of the die. Press S to scale, and by moving the mouse, pull the mesh into an outwards direction. Repeat this process with the lower edge loop. Use Alt on your keyboard and left-click on any edge, as demonstrated here. Again, use the letter S on your keyboard to scale the cutting tool into an outward direction. This procedure will clean up any excess mesh which is left behind after the die ditching process. When you are satisfied with the outcome, move back to the menu and press the Ditch tab. This has trimmed the tooth margin in an example with a full-bodied die. Next, we will briefly demonstrate how to use the ditching tool without making a removable die. In other words, we are only ditching the margin of the tooth preparation and removing some of the surrounding gum. The tooth is not separated from the model. To do this, select the dental model, then shift and right-click to place the cursor where you want the margin outline to begin. Navigate to the menu, and press on the Draw Margin tab. We will fast-forward this section, since this has already been covered previously. Outline the margin as previously discussed. Then go back to the menu and press on the Tool tab. Remember to use the Alt key on your keyboard, in conjunction with the left mouse click, on a single edge of the surrounding edge loop. Use S to scale, and pull the mesh into an inwards or an outward direction, by simply moving the mouse. If you would like to select the lower edge loop which is hidden beneath the gum, activate the transparent mode on the upper right-hand side of the 3D working window, over here. This will allow you to select any edge of the lowest edge loop. Use Alt and left-click on any of the edges. Exit transparent mode, then use S to expand or to contract the mesh. It is very important that you do not select the inner edge loop, since by adjusting this, you will cause a deficiency in the outline of the tooth margin. When you are satisfied with your work, navigate back to the menu, and press on the Ditch tab. This action has ditched the die. With this, we will conclude the tutorial on trimming away excess gum from the tooth preparation. Thank you for watching this video. In this video we will demonstrate how to hollow a model with individual dies. To begin, move to the menu and press on the Make Hollow tab. Wait a few moments for Blender to do the necessary calculations. When you see the rectangular cutting tool, select one of the options below. In this demonstration, we will use the honeycomb effect. Please be patient, this will also take a few moments. Next, move across to the blue arrow, and drag the cutting tool slowly in an upwards direction. At this stage, you will notice how the dies remain a little longer. This is correct. Navigate back to the menu, and press Apply. This will finalize the honeycomb effect. Once done, press the tilde key on your keyboard, so that you can view the dental model from the front. This will allow you to perform a straight cut along the top, to level all the dies. Select the first tooth die, then shift and left click to select the next, followed by shift and left click on the last remaining die. This will perform a multiple selection of all these objects. Move back to the menu, and navigate to the top. Press the Join Objects tab. This will join all the objects you selected. Go back to one of the teeth, and place the cursor, by shift and right click. Navigate to the cutting tools in the orange section and press the square cutting tool. Go back to the model and press the letter A on your keyboard. This will select all 4 vertices within the square cutting tool. Press the letter S on your keyboard. This will allow you to scale the cutting tool into a larger size by simply moving your mouse. Use G to grab the tool and S to scale it until you can position the tool directly over the components you want to cut out. Place it level with the base. When done, go back to the menu and press the Keep Outside tab. In order to separate the components again, select them first, then go back to the menu and press the Separate Objects tab. This has split the teeth into individual objects again. This completes the tutorial on how to hollow a base with individual dies. Thank you for watching this video.